Hey, I'm backstage in North Dakota, University of North Dakota, and we're doing a tribute. This is so ridiculous, I'm still crying about it. Charlie Kirk, and about to go on. Charlie asked me to come up, and I said, I'm not you, I can't do that. And he said, no, you just go out, you just teach history, I'll do the questions. Well, he's not here, so I'm going to fill in for him today, and you get a front row seat. So I want to tell you some of the things that I have learned in my journey. Because once I fixed those things, once I dealt with those things, once I found out who I really was, not what I thought I was supposed to be, nothing else, just who I really truly was, everything changed overnight. So let me start, I wrote down 9 things that I think are true and will shape you into the person you were born to be. Number 1, question everything. Everything. Anyone who tells you, don't ask that question, run from them. Question everything. Thomas Jefferson said in a letter to his nephew, Peter Carr. Peter Carr was young, his mother had died, then his father is on his deathbed, and he asked Thomas Jefferson, Thomas, you're the smartest man I know. Could you please help my son in his educational upbringing? So when Peter became of age, he wrote him this long letter, and he said, in mathematics, you have to do this. In literature, you have to read this. You have to speak these languages. I love this one. Never read a book outside of its native language. You will miss too much. The last one was religion. And he said, when it comes to religion, above all things, fix reason firmly in her seat and question with boldness even the very existence of God. For if there be a God, he must surely rather honest questioning over blindfolded fear. Amen. That changed my life. That gave me permission to question everything. I no longer had to feel stupid. I never had to feel guilty for questioning God. I remember I read that and I thought, you know what, God, I don't really know you. I know you because of what I have been taught. I know you because of what everybody has told me. I know you through church. I know you through the Bible, but I don't really know you. I don't know if any of this is true. So I'm going to question with boldness, and I'm going to start here. I don't believe in you. I don't reject you. But if you are my Father in heaven, you have built this entire system, so I will find you. I imagined if it were me and I'm a dad, and my children had to find me on their own to have real meaning and purpose. If I built a room and it was a round room and it didn't look like there were any doors or windows, it was just this round room, that's all they ever knew, everything I put in that room would point to me. I would send them every possible sign I exist. I'm on the other side of this wall. So if my heavenly Father exists, there's signs everywhere. Where are they? What are they? I had the library of a serial killer. I probably in a 10-year period, I think I read about 7,000 books. And I read everything. Charlie probably read more than I did. I read everything. And I went into bookstores and I would look at who would disagree with each other. I put a council together. Who was on the exact opposite side? Carl Sagan, Pope John Paul, Alan Dershowitz, Adolf Hitler. Who is on the opposite side? And then I would read the extremes and then I would narrow it in. My father told me, you have to look at all of your knowledge. You look at it as if everything's a transparency, and you look down through everything. Where they intersect, that's truth. Where everyone is saying the same thing, that's truth. because they don't agree with each other, but on that one thing they do. And then just assemble it. The second, the truth will set you free. I love Ephesians, where you're supposed to put on the full armor of God, the helmet of salvation. When I got into the waters of baptism, I needed that salvation. I needed, for all the things that I had done in my life, all of the wrongs that I had done, I needed somebody else to carry them because they were crushing me. And so I proved him. You promise me, if I live my life the way you tell me to live my life, if I'm always doing what you ask me to do, you will take this from me. And he did. And my life changed overnight. I don't know what the truth is about you that you have running in your head, but it's probably not very good. We all have these things. Oh, if people only knew, if people only knew what I thought or what I did, or I'm not good enough, I'm a fraud, whatever it is. That's a lie. Maybe somebody in your life has been telling you that crap. Turn that off. Turn that off. You are a divine daughter and son of God with all of the rights and privileges that go with that. You are equipped with everything you need. Don't let anyone tell you somebody stands in your way. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. The system is rigged against you. I am a son of God. I have everything I need. Third is choose your thoughts. Man, choose your thoughts. My father said one time, I was probably 17 years old, and we got into some fight. I don't even remember what it was about. And I just wanted to hurt him, I just wanted to win. And I was like, yeah, well, I'll never be like you. And you know what he said to me? Good. I am so glad to hear you say that. I was like, but you, he said to me, but you better find a model. You better find a father you want to be like. You better be very careful, because I've put all of these images of what a dad is in your head. And if you don't choose to be different and know what you're choosing, I promise you, son, you will be exactly like me. Choose your thoughts. What is the name of God in the Bible? When he goes to Moses, who shall I say sent me? I am that I am. The most powerful words in any language is I am. Be careful what you follow that with. I am what? A loser? I'm weak. I'm pathetic. I'm a fraud. No, you are not. But you will be that because you're invoking the power of God. I am blank. Choose your thoughts. Choose what you follow I am with carefully. 4, you will serve something in your life. Guarantee it. You will serve something. And that service might be money, might be fame, might be addiction, might be sex, whatever it is, might be God. But if you don't choose what you serve, if you don't say, this is the most important thing to me, this is my line, I serve this, again, it will be filled in by life. And you will end up serving false gods. Choose your master, because if you don't, a master will choose you. 5, forgiveness is essential. Without forgiveness, everything else falls apart. But it's not only essential, it's crippling hard. I can't tell you. There's lots of people I'm like, I gotta forgive you. It's crippling hard. But it's harder to forgive yourself most times. You gotta let that go. Give that to him. Let it go. The past is the past. Helmet of salvation. He is saving you. He's redeeming you. Why is it a helmet? Because it's what's going on in your head all the time. It's not real. It's yesterday, but it's eating you alive in your head. Put on the helmet of salvation. Do not let those thoughts come into your mind. When that happens, your life changes. Forgiveness is hard. Forgiving Charlie Kirk's killer, when I saw Erica do that, that's hard. But most likely forgiving yourself is harder, because you will see the humanity in someone else, hopefully. You will see the pain or the struggle or whatever it is in somebody else, but you won't give yourself that credit. Give that to yourself. 6, discipline is freedom. I said to you, I have a lot of pastor friends and I can speak at churches and they'll always let me speak. And they don't do that a lot of times with people from different religions, but I had a really honest pastor friend of mine. I said, I can't believe you let me speak here. And he's like, Glenn, nobody wants to go to your church. You're welcome. Nobody's leaving after you talk to join yours. I said, thank you. Discipline is freedom. My church is really hard. We got a lot of rules, okay? But I needed that framework. I didn't have that discipline. I didn't have the discipline I needed. I needed framework that said, serve your fellow man. And here's how you're going to do it. Tithe. And here's what you need to do. I needed that discipline. Because what I found is it's actually very freeing. You stop lying and you're the freest person in the world. When I was at Fox, they were investigating me. Fox was. I had everybody investigate me. Everybody. At one point, we had people going through our garbage at my house, looking at everything. And I was totally cool with it because I wouldn't have been 10 years ago, but I found Christ, I let it all go, and I announced it on the air. You don't even know what I've done. Here's what I've done, and I vomited out on the air. I got that poison out. So I had already told my audience who I was, so what are you going to find on me? Because I know I'm not doing anything bad now. You're going to dig up some skeleton in my closet? Ooh, I've already told my audience about it. That scared the daylights out of them. But when you know who you are, and you can look somebody in the eye and say, investigate all you want. They're terrified of you. Because they know they have no power over you. You never lie. You never cheat. You never steal. You know who you are. No one can trap you. And they freak out. I was sitting in a meeting with the head, at that time, Roger Ailes, head of Fox News, and I knew they had been investigating me. And I called into his office, and he's sitting there behind his desk like an evil warlord. And I said, Roger, how are you? And he said, have a seat. I sat down, and he said, you know, a lot of people want to know the skeletons in your closet. I said, I know. He said, a lot of people are investigating you. I said, I know. He reached down and he picked up a stack of files, okay, about this big. He put it right on his desk, right in front of him in between me. And then he pet it like a James Bond villain. You know, a lot of people want to know about you. I'm thinking, there's nothing in those files. And I said, I know that. Then he looked at me and he said, you know, it's always a shame. You have a wonderful wife. The hair stood up on my neck. I leaned into his desk and I said, yes, I do. And he said, it's always a shame when a man does something and hurts a woman like that. I looked him in the eye, I leaned into the desk and I said, I know. And that's why that has never happened. And I stared him in the eye, and we were like in the third grade for a minute. Here's the pinnacle of television news. I'm sitting next to the guy who created network television news. I'm looking him in the eye, and it's like we're in the third grade. We're having a stare-down contest. And I know the rule, the first person to look away loses. So I'm not looking away, I'm not blinking. I'm like, I won. He looked away.
We are in a moment where lies spread quickly and truth feels costly. But for Linda, the cost of silence could have meant the end of her baby's life. When Linda learned that she was pregnant, she knew abortion was wrong, but fear almost consumed her and led her to really dark places. She didn't know where to turn. And then God, she said, led her to a preborn network clinic. And there she was met with prayer and compassion and truth that pierced through the fear. Linda chose life for her child. Preborn shines truth in the heart of moms deciding between the life and death of their baby. Choose life. This is why it matters now more than ever, because when a mom hears that life, lives are saved. And $28 provides that truth through a free ultrasound. This is your chance to make a difference that will echo into the eternities. Will you answer the call? Pick up your phone right now and dial pound 250, say the keyword baby, pound 250, keyword baby, or you can donate securely online at preborn.com/Glenn, preborn.com/Glenn.
Before I start on this, I want to tell you something I'm doing, because I am, my job is changing in January. And I'm going to be doing a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, but I've also been studying AI since the 90s. And I have been working on a project with AI. The AI has a problem, it hallucinates. You cannot trust AI, and don't ever, ever, ever start to believe it's your friend, it's a person, it's a lover. It's not. It's ones and zeros. But I think as long as we understand it is a tool, we should use it. So I have spent the last 25 years taking pretty much my family is like, you're not leaving us anything, are you, Dad? And I'm like, I'm spending it all. I have been preserving American history. We have more founding documents. We are only behind the National Archives and the Library of Congress. I have the largest collection of pilgrim artifacts. You name it, we are collecting it and preserving it. We have digitized all of it. It will be available in something called George AI, coming soon. And George AI there's two parts of it. One will take you through all of the artifacts, so you know exactly. You want to do a paper on life, pro-life, abortion. Did the founders ever talk about that? Yes, they did. But you won't know how to find that. But we have now put it into its own self-contained system with virtual electric fence around it, so it cannot distort. It must remember all of it. The problem with AI, the reason why it hallucinates, is it can only remember so much. So it takes the beginning of a story, the end of the story, and it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it kind of happened this way. We have to have it memorized word for word. So now you'll be able to take any document, anything from the founders. You can translate it into any language. You can say, I need it to explain this to an 8-year-old. And it is absolutely accurate. In 2026, I'm going to be introducing something that we're working on that goes a step beyond that. And I want to show you just a quick clip of George AI.
May the grace of God be upon us all, now and forevermore.
They have no right to tax us like this. They're robbing our freedom.
Soldiers, listen to me now. The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph.
So which part of it do you want to hear about?
Next year, you are going to be able to have, beginning next year, you're going to be able to have a one-on-one conversation with the founders in your language, speaking the way you speak. I just this week asked him, how do we fix this? What principles have we lost, and where do we even start, George? The answer came from them, in their writings, in everything they studied, in everything that built this nation. I can't wait for you to see it and to learn from actual documented history.
If you are a homeowner, you need to listen to this. In today's AI and cyber world, scammers are stealing home titles and your equity is the target. And here's how it works. Criminals will forge your signature on one document, use a fake notary stamp, pay a small fee with the county, and just like that, your home, the title is gone. It's been transferred out of your name. Then they'll take out loans using your equity, even sell your property. And you won't even know it's happened until it's too late, until you get a collection or a foreclosure notice or the sheriff is at your front door. When is the last time you checked on your home title? The answer is never. You're not alone, but you need to do something about it now. And that's why we've partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can find out already if you're a victim. Use the promo code Glenn at HometitleLock.com. You'll get a title history report and a free trial of the $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title. They take care of everything. Go to HometitleLock.com. Use the promo code Glenn. Do it now.
First, let me ask you a question. Is America a good place or a bad place? Wait a minute. Is it? Is it? Let me, just hear me out for a second. Pete Hegseth, by the way, Pete Hegseth got his start by working at the Blaze. It's crazy. Pete Hegseth just said recently that they are not going to retract any of the medals of honor for Wounded Knee. This is something I've been working on for years, trying to get those medals of honor to be returned, because I have some of the guns, I have the photos, I have the things that came from Wounded Knee. I have the writings of the people that were there. I know that those medals of honor were bribes to shut them up. It was a massacre, and we shut people up. And we did it by saying, this is an honorable battle. I can tell you stories of things that this country has done that will curl your hair. Things that we have done in the name of God, in the name of the American people, in the name of righteousness. We've done horrible things. Here's the answer to that question. Is America a good place or is America a bad place? The answer is yes. Yes. Yes, it is. It has bad things in it and good things in it. You have to decipher. And if you forget the bad things, I guarantee you, you will repeat them. So it's important that you know the bad things. I can sit down with any college professor and out bad America to them. And I have all the evidence. I have the documents. I have the transcripts. I have the paperwork on what they did in medical experiments to black men. I have it. So please get off your cute little high horse telling me how bad America is, because I will put you to shame, Professor. But let me ask you this. Can you tell me the great things that this country did? Can you tell me the things that Americans did and this country did that changed the world forever? They can't. You must. You must know the bad and the good. It's the only way you're going to weather the storms of the future. You must be able to say, yes, we made mistakes, and I know those mistakes better than you do. So don't lecture me on those mistakes. Let's talk about balance. It's the trajectory that matters. Are you getting better or are you getting worse? Is the country getting better by what we believe, what we do? Is it healing more people, helping people up out of poverty? Is it enriching people? Is it, and I mean that in a spiritual and a mental way, is it enriching their lives? I believe what we fight for, yes. I believe what the left, not Democrats, the left fights for, quite honestly, at many times it's evil, because they're telling people, you will never succeed. You're not good enough without me to guide you all the way. That's evil. We must always be on the other side, giving people the promise of hope of knowing who they are. So let's start with knowing who we are. This is garbage. This is the New York Times Magazine 1619 project. In this, it says that America really started with slavery in 1619. That's garbage, and I know what was on that boat in 1619 because I happen to have the manifest. So, Professor, let's talk about what was on that ship, shall we? Let's talk about, when did slavery come to America? It was a white man, England, Jamestown. Nope. This is a document written in Spanish from Spain 100 years before, okaying slaves to come from Africa into what we now call the Carolinas. This is a 1825 engraving done by Thomas Jefferson's son. This is the first draft of the Declaration of Independence in Thomas Jefferson's own hand. And it's an amazing thing, because when you look at it over here, I wish you could come up close and see it, but it says B. Franklin, J. Adams, and then it has a line, has stuff crossed out in it, and then the changes. So when they made changes, Ben would come in and he'd go like, I want to change that, scratch it out, B. Franklin, and then he would put the changes in. So this is the first draft. Thomas Jefferson is set up in a hotel room all by himself. He's about 30 years old, redhead, fiery guy from Virginia, not even supposed to be there, but he starts to write this. So I'm going to give you the greatest gift anyone has ever given you, because I didn't get this gift until I was about 58 years old when I first read this document. I've struggled with my whole life how to answer, how could you possibly listen to Thomas Jefferson say all men are created equal when he had slaves? He didn't really believe that. I don't know how to answer that. But you will now, because of what's on page 3. Page 2, it begins with the usurpations. All the things that you would say to somebody you're breaking up with, you don't pick up your underpants, you smell in the morning, whatever it is. He writes all of these things down, and they're all 1 or 2 lines maximum, until he gets here. This is the last usurpation. His handwriting even changes when he writes this. He's passionate about this. Every usurpation up till here is 1 or 2 lines. This is over half a page. Let me just show you what it starts with. And he, the king, has waged a cruel war against human nature itself, violating its most sacred rights of life and liberty in the persons of a distant people who never offended him, taking their life and liberty and captivating and carrying them into slavery in another hemisphere, or to incur miserable death in their transportation. This piratical warfare, the opprobrium of infidel powers, underlined, is the warfare of the printed out, not in script, printed out, underline, and bold. This is the work of the warfare of the Christian king. He is now saying to the king, you can't do this and call yourself a Christian. You're not a Christian. This is piratical. Who were the pirates? The pirates of the time were the Muslim pirates that believed if they conquered you, they could take you as a slave if you were an infidel. This is piratical warfare. The powers of infidel powers. Yet the King of Great Britain is determined to keep an open market where capitalized, bold men are to be bought and sold. Then he goes in to how many times they had tried to stop this. It's the most incredible thing I've ever read. How come you don't know that? How come nobody has ever taught you what Thomas Jefferson wrote in the first draft of the Declaration of Independence, where he is making an impassioned plea to stop slavery? How come you don't know that? Why hasn't a teacher or a professor had the guts to show you the truth? And I guarantee, I want you to look this up. I want you to Google first draft of the Declaration of Independence. It's right there. It's easy to find. Why has it remained hidden from us? Why did I have to wait 50 years before I knew the truth of Thomas Jefferson? Why isn't it in the final draft? Well, because we're a country built on slavery. Because all our founders wanted was slavery. They just wanted to enshrine slavery so they can enrich themselves and hurt the black man. No, here's why. Because when the draft was read in front of the Continental Congress, remember, every line had to be voted on, and it had to be unanimous. When they got to this part, out of the 13 colonies, remember, all these colonies were all racist. All we want to do is entrap and enslave the black man or anybody who isn't white and just get rich. Out of the 13 colonies, how many voted against this paragraph? 2. That means 11 said stop slavery right now. 2. Georgia and South Carolina, where the Civil War started. This is a piece of Abraham Lincoln's coat. Bloodstained. I have the cuff from his collar, bloodstained. They treated him like he was a circus animal when he was dying. He was sick. But I really believe that he knew he would have to give up his life. He didn't want to, but I think he knew. That day, he and his wife spent the day talking about what are they going to do after the war. One of the last things he said to her was, honey, I have it. I think I know what I want to do. Let's go to the Holy Land. I want to walk in the footprints of my Savior. And John Wilkes Booth took this key, the key to box number 7 at Ford's Theater, opened the door, took a gun, and shot him. Shot him in the back of the head. Expecting what? What did he want? He wanted anger. He wanted vengeance. He needed people to hate each other. He was from the South. The South just surrendered. He needed the North to be so angry that they would go back into battle. And this time, maybe the South would be victorious. That's what that was all about. You want to know what Abraham Lincoln, Booth tried to kill him one other time at the second inaugural address. I have the only picture of Abraham Lincoln and John Wilkes Booth in the same picture. Lincoln is blurry because he's moving giving the second inaugural address. Booth is perfectly clear. He's up in the corner of the Capitol and he is just staring holes through Abraham Lincoln. Because in the end of his second inaugural address, what does he say? What does he say? Let us bind the wounds of this nation. Let's take care of the widow and the orphan. With charity toward all and malice toward none. When the South said, we surrender, Grant wrote, I have the surrender for Lee. What should I do with him? The response was, take your foot off his neck and help him up.
When the temperature drops and the power flickers, preparedness stops being a hobby and becomes something that you owe your family. And having reliable heat without depending on the grid is one of the simplest, smartest ways you can care for them. The Vesta off-grid space heater from My Patriot Supply runs on indoor, safe canned heat, which means it'll give you real portable warmth without electricity, and it will also double as a stove so you can boil water or cook a meal if the power is out. It's really simple, it's practical, it's capable, and it will take the worry out of you in the nighttime when it gets cold and you're out of power. Right now, My Patriot Supply is packing the Vesta into a winter prep special along with several other free gifts, about $400 worth, so preparation is easier to start than you think. This is your opportunity to get ahead of the curve. You can get the Vesta, a bunch of free other stuff, when you order the winter prep special from My Patriot Supply. Just go to mypatriotsupply.com/Glenn, see everything that's included, some really good stuff. The offer's not going to last long. It's mypatriotsupply.com/Glenn.
My name is Jeb Baugh. I'm
Yes.
an aviation student here at the University of North Dakota. And I really liked your point, question everything. And one question I have for you, Glenn, is a lot of young American and conservatives are starting to notice that Israel has an overwhelming lobby over the United States government, and we have unconditionally supported them. We have fought their wars in the Middle East. Bibi Netanyahu came to our Congress in the 90s, told us a list of countries that we need to take out. Some were Syria, Iraq, Iran, Libya, etc. Through those wars, we have lost trillions of dollars. We have lost American servicemen. And the worst part I think about it is the fact that millions of refugees are coming to the Western world through America and Europe, are degrading our cities, destroying our Western values. The U.S.
If you have more, let me just, because that's a long list and I have a very short attention span. So let me just answer some of those here and then you can continue your encyclopedia of questions, and I appreciate it. Let's see. Israel has a lobby. Yes. And you know who has a bigger lobby all around the world? The United States of America. It is in each country's best interest to lobby. Don't blame Israel. Blame our own politicians if they act upon it outside of the United States' interest. Because I can tell you, we're lobbying everybody else. And they will...
First or Israel first?
No one's clapping.
Yes.
No one's clapping for your point.
First or Israel first? It's an easy question. Charlie was America first. What are you?
Charlie was starting to notice about the Israel lobby.
Could I answer my question? Could I answer the question, please? First of all, I'm an American first and always. But the reason we have refugees all around the world is not Israel. It is a global system of people trying to take down the West. They are trying to hold your peace for a minute. This is why I said, Charlie, I can't do this. What is happening is we have Islamists occupying our countries. The next war that you will face. You know what our first foreign war was? Against the Barbary pirates. They were the Islamic pirates, okay? Jefferson, when he ended that war, because nobody had the stomach for it, he said, I gotta warn you, everyone should read the Quran. He actually had I have a copy of it, printed Quran, printed for Americans to read. He didn't put out little teeny clips. He wanted every American to read the Quran. He said, because I'm telling you now, this is our first foreign war. But if we don't pay attention, I guarantee it will be our last foreign war. That is coming, whether you like it or not. That is a plan well laid out. And yes, George Soros is a big part of it. I was the man who taught America about George Soros. One last thing. Here's my problem with this whole thing. Is it okay to set babies on fire? Is it okay to rape babies? Is it okay to kill people and have glee? Hear me out. Oh, dear God. Dear God Almighty. I will pray for you. Where was I? I don't have a problem with people saying, I have a problem with Israel. Because I'm not fighting Israel's wars. I don't want to fight Israel's war. I don't want to supply troops or arms. You can buy it. We'll sell it to you. But we're not going to fight your war. That's your war. But I believe Israel has a right to exist. I believe Jews have a right to live and not be hunted down. I know the history of the Middle East. They've been going through this forever. And even if we have a peace deal, I got news for you, gang. It's going to come undone at some point anyway. We're going to be facing the same thing over and over and over again because that's what it says in the Bible. It's going to happen. It's been going on for thousands of years. So I have no problem with you not liking what Israel is doing because I can understand it. I'm not asking for support on that. I am asking that you recognize that you are dealing with evil when you're talking about Hamas, not the Palestinian people, Hamas.
All right, so Israel has lobbies for all the countries around the world. They have lobbies for New Zealand, England, France. No Muslim has any lobbies. Another thing, you're talking about the stuff they don't teach in school. You're talking about one thing they don't teach in school. They don't teach about the USS Liberty, where Israel literally came, blew up an American ship because they want us to get in their war with Egypt. And they don't teach that in school. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your question. Guys, let me leave you on this because I'd like to turn this around so you believe me. It says, please wrap this up. I'll take one more question, but let me just say this. We must not divide. We must not divide ourselves. We cannot divide. I don't care if you like Israel. I really don't. Please recognize there is good and there is evil. I'm not saying the Jews are good or anything. You don't have to believe any of that. I do, but you don't have to. But recognize evil when you see evil. And what is happening with Islamists is evil. It is. Beyond that, let's just not divide ourselves. We need everyone on deck. Everyone. Last question.
Hey, sir, it's an honor. I have family that have been very long-time listeners of yours, and it's just crazy that you're here, you know. And I was going to come up here and ask you about Columbus Day and renaming it to Indigenous Peoples Day, but after that conversation, I just want to ask you, I completely agree with you that there's a ton of Islamist evil in the world, and they are a bigger enemy to the United States than Israel will ever will be. But I have a question. Why is there this societal taboo around criticisms of Israel?
You're standing here in a theater voicing this. Nobody's going to arrest you. Nobody's going to say anything. I'm going to answer you. We're having a great conversation. Where is the taboo?
The taboo is, for example, AIPAC doesn't have to register as a foreign lobby, but like the Australia lobby does. And it just
and that should be changed. That should be corrected. Look, I am not going to say Israel should have any special privileges. None. Everyone should play by the rules, exactly the same rules, period. If they're not, that should be corrected. But let's correct those things. Let's not talk about snipers behind Charlie.
Agreed.
Good, thank you. I want to leave you on a positive. I happen to have Superman's cape and his outfit, but it was on the mannequin and I didn't want to undress it. I feel weird. So I brought this. This is from Captain America, the first movie. I wanted to share this with you for one reason. Do you know why Superman was drawn in the first place? There's two kids. I think it was Cleveland, Ohio. Two kids that saw what was happening in the world and they were freaked out of their mind. How do we solve this? There's nothing big enough. Nobody can solve this. We need a Superman. So to calm the younger brother down, the older brother, and it's still on the wall. I helped save the house. It's still on the wall. You peel off the wallpaper. There was the original Superman drawn by an older brother for his younger brother to help him sleep at night. Don't worry, there's a man of steel out there. I have to tell you, there is no man of steel. We always get into these situations and we look for superheroes. There are no superheroes. There's you. There's me. You are the ones that will save the world. Now you can choose to do the next right thing to the best ability of your understanding. You do that and you will be Superman. Superman wasn't needed in the end, except for children. American soldiers went in and fought the war, fought it with honor and decency, and freed the world. Let's be those people again. Thank you. Charlie, when I get to the other side, you and I are having a talk. Assuming we're in the same place. I know where you are. I don't know where I'm going to be back. Especially after this performance tonight, because you weren't here. I told you I'd lose my mind. And I did. We miss you, Charlie. A lot.